Hi friends, this week we're doing bright green sort 8 and we're looking at the suffixes meant, less, and ness. And I want you to just follow along with me and let's review what these suffixes mean. So meant, M-E-N-T, it means the act of doing something. You're actually doing something. The suffix less, L-E-S-S, means you're without it. You're without it. And then the suffix ness is a state of being, like what you're kind of doing at that time. And I'll talk more about that one when we get to that column. So right now I want you to look at the M-E-N-T. It's the act of doing. And I want you to find that helper word that's bold, and the word is payment. Payment. So if I had the word payment, this would actually mean to pay somebody. The act of doing is M-E-N-T, and then to pay someone. So payment would be to make a payment and pay someone. Find the next word, replacement. Replacement. This would mean to actually replace something. Employment. This would mean to be hired somewhere. An employee is someone that works. I am an employee of District 103. So employment would be to get a job. The next word I want you to find is punishment. So we know what punish means, right? This would be the act of doing it, so actually having a punishment. Punishment. Go ahead and find the word agreement. We know what it means to agree on something, right? So if you come to an agreement, you're doing something. It's the act of doing. You are agreeing upon something. The next word I want you to find is amusement. So we know what it means to be amused, right? To be interested, to be excited. So the act of doing would be being amused, being excited, being thrilled. And the next word I want you to find is government. Government. And so to govern means to kind of be in charge of something, and so our government takes that charge. They are in charge of that. That's their act of doing. Let's go over these meant words. The act of doing is payment, replacement, employment, punishment, agreement, amusement, and government. The next column I want you to look at is the less, the suffix less, and that means without. So we're really going to look at these base words here. Let's find our helper word, which is breathless. We know what it means to take a breath, right? So if we add less to that, it's without a breath. So it's not taking a breath. It's without breath. The next word I want you to find is hopeless. Hopeless. We know what it means to have hope, right? Hopeless means to have no hope. Thoughtless. We know what it means to have a thought. To be thoughtless is to have no thought. Priceless. Right? If something has a price, it costs money. If it doesn't have a price, it's priceless. It doesn't cost money. The next word I want you to find is flawless. To have a flaw would be to have something that might be something you're working on to better yourself. So if you're flawless, it means you're perfect. You don't have anything wrong. Tactless. And the last word I want you to find here is fruitless. Fruitless. Let's go over these words. Less means without. Breathless, hopeless, thoughtless, priceless, flawless, tactless, fruitless. This next column is N-E-S-S, and that means a state of being. So it's kind of, it's an act of kind of what you're doing, but it's also how you are. So look at the first word. This will help us, and this can help you understand a little bit better. The first word is laziness. So we know what it means to be lazy, right? So if I'm lazy, it's just being, I'm having laziness. I'm just being lazy. And notice lazy is really spelled with a Y, but here we replace it with an I, something a little different. The next word I want you to find is blindness. Blindness. It's just the state of being blind. And we talked about that with our contributors, right? Not being able to see. The next word I want you to find here is dizziness. So we know what it means to be dizzy, right? And if you're experiencing dizziness, you're just kind of in that state of feeling dizzy. Again, drop the Y and add the I. Politeness. Go ahead and find the word politeness. And the word friendliness. And the next word I want you to find is emptiness. And the last word in this column is saltiness. Let's go over these words together. The NESS, it's kind of that state of being. So we have laziness, blindness, dizziness, politeness, friendliness, emptiness, and saltiness. Now I have this column here and there's no oddball header, and I bet some of you are wondering, why isn't there a header? Sometimes there's just not a header. We have 2 words left that don't fit into any of our suffix categories, but I do want to talk about them. So powerlessness, bring that up here, that's a long word. So powerless, right, means to have no power, because we know what less means, without. And it's kind of that act of being. So to just be without power, powerlessness. And then the next word in here that means the same thing, it's without kind of that state of being. So fearlessness. So we know fearless, right, means without fear. And then we add that ness as a state of being. So it's literally to be without fear. Nice job today, friends. We reviewed MENT, LESS, and NESS suffixes. Remember, ment is the act of doing something. Less is without something. Ness is the state of being. And lessness, which is tricky to say that, lessness, is without the state of being. Nice job today, friends.